good morning students. How are you? I hope you are all fine. Okay children, we learned in last class about the part 6 of chromosomal basis of inheritance. We finished that crossing over, that recombination, and we learned that holiday junction, that is holiday hybrid DNA model, holiday hybrid DNA model. Who coined this? Robin Holliday in 1964. When I discovered this in 1964, he only discovered the mode of hybridization by 7 procedure we learned, no? And then what we learned, that gene mapping. What we learned? Gene mapping. What is the gene mapping function? Gene map is used to find the location of gene. And gene map means, what is a gene map? To find the location of gene. It is used to find the location of gene. Suppose, for example, if I am drawing a gene map like this, A, B and C, 3.5 centimorgan, then 7.5 centimorgan and 5.5. So, if I am drawing like this, so it may represent the gene gap between A and B is 3.5 centimorgan and B and C is 7.5 centimorgan, and between C to D the distance between is 5.5 centimorgan. So here by this way only we are going to mark the mapping. Okay. So now we are going to learn. So this gene mapping is success by doing the series of test cross. Okay, if we do a series of test cross, we can get the proper gene mapping. Proper mapping of gene and used by series of test cross. What does mean by series of test cross? What does mean by test cross? F1 hybrid is crossed with double recessive parents. Understood? If F1 hybrid is crossed with double recessive parent, then this is said to be test cross. If you are doing a series of test cross, we can get data. With that data, we can make a accurate gene mapping. So, what is the gene mapping? Finding the location or finding the distance and finding the gene where it is placed. In maximum, it is used to find the defective gene and for repairing the defective gene in gene therapy. Understood, children? Okay, so and already I said the triple cross is only successfully we can get the gene mapping when compared with double cross. So how they are doing the triple cross? So for that they are taken the example plant is maize. So in maize they have taken 3 recessive character. One is L and G, small g and small s. So L is for lazy. So lazy means the leaves and the shoot system will grow like a creeper. Okay. So lazy, or what is wild, like this is recessive character. And what is a wild type? A wild means dominant. Dominant character. So it may be prostrate. Prostrate means straightly growing plant. Okay. Straightly growing maize plant. And second one is glossy leaves. Recessive is glossy leaf. So without hair present on the leaf is called as grassy leaf, glossy leaf. So and then opposite, what is a wild type? Hairy leaf. So have you find minute hair-like projections on the leaf? So that is the wild characteristic of the maize plant, that is hairy leaf. And yes for sugary endosperm. What is endosperm? Inside the seed, the nutritive part for the entire plant growth is called as endosperm. If it is sugary, then it is said to be recessive character. Then what is the opposite of the sugary? Non-sugary endosperm. Non-sugary endosperm. Children, up to this clear? For the what it is gene mapping, we are using triple test cross. For triple test cross, what it is said to be? Triple test cross or triple crossing over So in the triple crossing over, they are taking the characteristic feature. small l, small g, small s as the recessive character. And what is the opposite wild type? Capital L, capital G and capital S. Okay. So capital L, capital G and capital S. So small l for laziness, that plant leaf will be the plant will grow like a creeper. So and then what is the dominant character? It grow as straight plant, prostrate. And it is glossy leaves. The leaf is shiny, smoothie without any hair. Okay, and here the dominant character is hairy leaves. And here you can find the sugary endosperm as a recessive character. Then opposite is non-recessive character. So what is the gamete you got? Small gs, and here the dominant character is capital L, capital G, capital S. So these are the two gamete variety we have taken. What it is for triple test cross. For double test cross we will be taking what it is two characteristic feature. Here instead of that we are taking three genes for crossing. Okay, so this is called as triple crossing over. Let's we learn how the triple crossing over takes place. For triple character, the parent will be having capital L, capital G, capital S. Capital L, capital G, capital S. That recessive parent, small l, small g, small s. Again with the recessive parent, small l, small g, small s. So both will be having similar, that is alleles, and for that we are taking single. So what it will be? Capital L, capital G, capital S. Again from here, small l, small g, small s. If we cross, you will be getting what? Capital L, capital G, capital S, and small l, small g, small s. So this is F1 hybrid. F1 hybrid. What it is? This is F1 hybrid. So F1 hybrid will be always what it is, all the wild character will be expressed here, but the recessive character is hidden. So it is not expressing the recessive character, so they are all showing the dominant character. So next to what we have to do is, we are going to get the F2 generation. F2 generation will be getting by means of the test to cross. What is test to cross? This hybrid, F1 hybrid, is crossed with double recessive parent. Small l, small g, small s, small l, small g, small s. So this is the double cross, that is what test to cross. So double recessive parent. So what chance of gametes you will be getting? Capital L, small l, capital G, small g, capital S, small s. So but here it will be having single where it is small l, small g and small s. So here this types of alleles are united to form totally 8 gametes. How many gametes? It can form 8 gametes. But this will be forming single gamete. This will be forming single gamete. So here I have mentioned here that flowchart is given here. So here's this 8. These are the 8 types of gamete formed by the what it is, this F1 hybrid. So what are the gametes can be formed? Capital L, capital G, capital S, small l, capital G, small s, capital L, small g, capital S, capital L, capital G, small s, small l, small g, capital S, small l, capital G, small s, capital L, small g, small s, small g, small l, small g, small s. So this is a parental character and this also parental character. See, this is normal and this is lazy and this is glossy plant and this is sugary plant, and here these two characters expressing lazy and glossy plant. Here the lazy and sugary plant, here glossy and sugary plant. This is lazy, glossy, so all recessive. This is parental progeny, and this is also parental progeny, and remaining in between these gametes are all recombinant gamete. So these are all forming totally 8 gametes. So these 8 gametes, 2 are parental progeny and remaining 6 are recombinant progeny. So totally that all dominants were found 286. How many? 286. Refer here. So total number of this is progeny in F2 generation. This is progeny of F2 generation progeny. That is offsprings. What it means? Offsprings. So totally all normal dominant wild type is found 286. Likewise all means it will be got this much of recombinant varieties. So they have found that is what that recombinant for the loci between L and capital L and capital G, and between capital L and capital S, capital G and capital S. Okay. So now we are going to find the gene mapping. How with the help of this data we are going to construct the gene map. We are going to construct the gene map. So for that we need the where are all the recombinants are forming. So here the recombinant between L and G, and the recombination between L and capital S, and here the recombination between capital G and capital S. So for first normal type, no recombination has formed because all are dominant gametes. Because of that, no recombination will be formed here. In second row, so you can find here capital small l, capital L, small l. So here the chance of recombination. Likewise, here also the chance of recombination, because here what happens here, this is capital L and small l, so the recombination have the chance to forming here. So likewise, all the other area, the recombination is formed if the different gametes are occurred. If here capital or small, so if any different heterozygous gametes or alleles are present, the recombination will be forming. Here look at the last row, this is recessive parent. Here also no recombination is formed. So parental will not form any recombination. In between it is formed two, that is two, at the 2 point recombination takes place. Okay. So from small l, capital G, small s, between L and G one recombination, between L and S one recombination, and for capital L, small g, small capital S, the recombination occurred between capital L and capital G, and between capital G and capital S. And for capital L, capital G, small s, the recombinant occurred between capital L and S and capital G and capital S. And here small l, small g, capital S, the recombinant occurred between the L and S and G and S. And small l, capital G, small s, the recombinant occurred between the L and G and S. And capital L, small g, small s, the recombinant occurred between what it is, that L and G and L and S are not in this. So in last parental recessive character also no recombination occur. So this is, if we calculate all the recombinant, how you will calculate? So this are 33 and plus 59, then 44 plus 40 will produce 176. Children, have you understood? So we have to count this one. So for this we have to refer the number of progeny. So here 33 progeny plus 59 progeny plus 44 progeny plus 4 progeny, you will be getting 176. And for here between L and S, the number of recombinant frequency is what it is, 33 plus 4 plus 2 plus 40. So you will be getting 79. And here, so 59 plus 4 plus 2 plus 44. So you will be getting 109. So from this data, now we are going to construct the recombinant frequency. We are going to construct the recombinant frequency. Children, up to this clear? Okay. So what is meant by recombinant frequency? What is meant by recombinant frequency? What is the formula? Recombinant frequency is equal to number of recombinants divided by total number of progeny or offsprings into 100. Into 100. This is the formula for what it is. What it is said to be recombinant frequency. So for first one, the recombinant between capital L and capital G. Capital L and capital G, the recombinant will be, what is the formula? Total number of recombinant. So we have to find the recombinant. 33 plus 59. 33 plus 59 plus 44 plus 40. 44 plus 40. Children, it's clear? Okay, total number of progeny. How much total number of progeny? Total number is 740. 740 into 100. Into 100. So what you will be getting? So you will be getting 23.7%. 23.7%. What is the result? 23.7%. This is the recombinant frequency of between the L and G. Recombinant frequency between L and G. And for the next one, recombinant frequency between the capital L and capital S. Capital and L and capital S. So what is the result? 333 plus 4. 33 plus 4. Then 2 plus 40. 2 plus 40 divided by 740 into 100. So what is the total you will be getting? 79 by 740 into 100. So what is the result? 10.7 percentage. What is the recombinant frequency between L and S? 10.7. And last one between G and S. G and S. So find out what it is. 59 plus 4 plus 2. 59 plus 4 plus 2 plus 44. 44. So totally 740 into 100. What you will be getting? So 109 by 740 into 100. So totally what is the result? 14.7 percentage. 14.7 percentage. This is the what it is recombinant frequency between the G and S. So with the help of these things, we are going to find the mapping. We are going to put the mapping. Children, up to this clear? Up to this clear? So what the result we got? So I mentioned here between L and G and L and S and okay. From the percentage, tell me or identify which is the lengthiest recombinant frequency. Already I said the recombinant frequency is equivalent to map unit. Equivalent to map unit. So whatever percentage directly proportional to map unit. So it is mentioned here percentage, but in map unit we can consider as a centimorgan. Okay. Now which is the lengthiest one? L and G. So L and G is totally. So the scientists will draw genetic map like this and they will mention. So lengthiest frequency is 23.7. So between L and G. Between L and G. And which is the shortest one? 10.7 when compared with 14.7. So 10.7. So keep a point of 10.7 distance. 10.7 percentage distance. And this has to be marked LS. So LS is located in between the L and G. And what is the distance between what it is G and S? The distance between 14.7 percentage. 14.7 percentage. So but already what we got. So if you add this two, so 10.7 percentage plus 14.7 percentage, you will be getting 25.4 percentage. But what we got here? 23.7 percentage. Do you have any confusion? So actually what has to come? If we had already marked the distance between L and G by using the distance for 23.7. So and then we found the distance between L and S is 10.7 and S and G gap is between 14.7. If we add this two, we have to get the total length for 23 what it is 7. But here it is not happening. So instead of 23.7, if we adding these two numbers, we are getting 25.4. So why this difference? So why this difference here? The recombination. So what we got, the recombination frequency is 23.7. But here for the former one and the last one, there won't be recombination takes place. There won't be recombination takes place. Because of that only, that there is a variation, that is 2 pointers vary when compared with the to overall length. Children, up to this clear? Up to this clear? So this is called as triple test crossing, and by using the data of triple test cross, how can we mention the gene mapping? Children, up to this clear? Up to this clear? Okay. Now, our recombinant characters are out 2 double crossing over takes place. So if the chromosome is like this, if crossing over takes place here and here, if crossing over takes place in between this two area, what the progeny you will be getting? This already you learned. This way only the recombinant will be occurred. Okay. So by this way only the recombinant occur after the crossing over. If it takes place in two area. If it takes place in two area. Children, up to this clear? Up to this clear? Next we are going to learn about the uses of gene mapping. What we are going to learn? Uses of gene mapping. So already we learned what is gene map. So it is used to find the location of gene, and it is used to find the distance between the two genes, and it is used to measure whether it is linked gene or non-linked gene. So these are all we learned in the introduction of what gene mapping. So who introduced the gene mapping? So the student of what it is T.H. Morgan, Alfred Sturtevant, in 1913 only he discovered the gene mapping. So this gene mapping is already I informed you, which is very important to find the defective gene in particular chromosomes. Why we have to find the defective gene? If any chromosomal problems, if a chromosome defects, then that particular rectifier problem creating gene can be isolated. How they are be isolating? By doing this triple continuous series of test cross. They are mentioning the crossing over like this, and then from that they will be finding the data, and they will putting the gene mapping, and then they will be finding the particular distance where the affected defected gene is located, and then they will be isolating it. Then the problems will be rectified and it is cured. Okay, so that is the major procedure of what? That gene mapping. So let us learn the uses of gene mapping. So what is the first use? It is used to find the location. Find the location of gene in particular chromosome. Understood, children? So first one we are going to find the location of the chromosome, and second one we are going to find the distance between the adjacent genes. Distance between the adjacent gene, and finding the map unit. Finding the map unit. Okay, so these are the main function, and then so it is used to find it is used to predict the result of dihybrid and trihybrid cross. So used to predict the result of dihybrid or trihybrid cross. So after finding the cross only we will find whether the ratio or whatever it may be from the how many gametes and what are the gametes or what are the hybrids are formed by using the what it is the dihybrid and trihybrid cross. But this gene mapping is used to find the result of trihybrid and dihybrid cross before doing the cross itself. Okay, and fifth one, it is used to detect the defective gene or any complexity in chromosomes of patients. So these are the uses of what the gene mapping. So what is the first one? So it is used to find the location of particular genes in the chromosome, and it is used to find the distance between the adjacent genes. By thereby we can find whether they are linked genes or non-linked gene. And then it is used to find the map unit for particular or map unit for the particular genes in the chromosomes. And then it is used to predict the result. So before doing the cross, we can find the results by doing the gene mapping between, that is what the result can be predicted for dihybrid and trihybrid cross. And it is used to detect the defective genes or gene complexity, that is recombinant complexity in the particular persons. Okay, so these are the uses of chromosome. Children, once again we gathered what we learned today. So startingly we already learned the recombination. So after the recombination, so this recombination is not compulsory, and then there is a frequency chances there. So even what we learned in the last class, 49 meiosis can produce no recombinant progeny, but single meiosis division may produce that recombinant progenies. So likewise, so the recombination we learned, and the recombination which model is used, that Holiday, the hybrid for DNA model. So who found this? Robin. Robin in 1964 he found this. Okay, Robin Holiday. And then what we learned? So we learned maximum the gene map can be successful by doing the series of triple cross. So what series of test cross. So and double cross, instead of double cross, triple cross is useful for getting the successive result of the gene mapping. So instead of double cross, triple cross is very important to find the gene mapping. Okay. So and so what is the thing they have taken for this? So they have taken, example is maize plant. So in maize plant they have taken 3 recessive character. What is the 3 recessive character? Small l, small g and small s. Small l is representing that lacy maize leaves, which will not grow erect, which will grow like a creeping plant, and small g for glossy leaves, which will not producing the hairy appearance, and sugary endosperm. Endosperms are a nutritive part which is present inside the seeds. That the endosperm, if it is sugary, it is a recessive character. Then what is the opposite character? Lazy, opposite erect or prostrate, and glossy, opposite is airy, and sugary, opposite is non-sugary. So with this, they have started to do a triple cross. For triple cross, like Mendel dihybrid cross, but they are doing the triple cross. For triple cross, so totally first progeny, if parent is crossed, that F1 hybrid is formed. That F1 hybrid is formed capital L with small l, capital G small g, and capital S small gens. These combination can produce 8 types of gametes. That gametes are given here: capital L, capital G, capital S, small l, capital G, capital S, and small capital L, small g, capital S, capital L, capital G, small s, small l, small g, capital S, small l, capital G, small s, capital L, small g, small s, small l, small g, small s. So these are the 8 types of gametes are formed, and these with the help of the gametes, if we put the progeny, so these are the total number of progeny. Normally wild type can produce 286 and wild recessive can produce 272, and these are the recombinant progenies: 33, 59, 4, 2, 44, 40. And we have to find the recombinant in particular loci between L and G, between L and S, between G and S. So between L and G, the recombinant is formed here and here, and between for this gamete, the recombinant formed here and here. For this type of gamete, the recombinant is formed here and here. For this one, here and here. This one, here and like that. So recombinants are formed. Now for recombinant frequency, already we know the formula. So what is the recombinant frequency? That number of recombinant by the total number of progeny into 100. By calculating the total number of for between L and G, so 33, 59, 44, 40 by 740 into 100, we got what? So 23.7. Then 33, 4, 2, 40 plus by 740, you got 10.7. Then for this 59, 4, 2, 44, you got 109 by 740 into 100. So for you got what as 14.7. With the help of these data, we drawn that gene mapping. Lengthiest one is mentioned as L and G2 extremes, and in between you have to mention the smallest one. So S is in between L and S, and you know why the difference came. That is, if we add this 2, we got 25 point something, but what we got actually here 23.7. Now you know why this appeared, because here 2 parental, no recombination takes place. Because of that, here the number is reduced. Children, I think I hope you all understood these things. So go that is, take your book, refer the tabular column, refer the video, and keep on practicing. Then it is easy for you to understand. Thank you, children.